Twisha Christian. Today I want to go back over the X&P prophetic investment by Clement. And I want to discuss a little bit further about this new energy source. And I had been listening to Kenneth's story, his take on what some of those may have been or are back from 2016. So there was a lot of good information there. But I also want to talk about that I may have found something a little bit different. But that I'll get into just a little bit later, but I can't reveal all the details on that. All right, now one of the mistakes that I made when it was dealing with the X&P prophecy when I was reading it, I had said it was an X, a number, and then the letter P. And that's actually incorrect. There's actually 4 spaces within this particular investment, and I'm about to go over it real quick. Now keep in mind, there are 5 new energy sources that Kim Clement talked about. New energy sources are coming from, different places and different things. And one of those resources will replace gasoline. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and read. Regarding the source of energy, this is very important for people that are listening all over the world. I had 2 clues. I'm going to give you one today. I'm going to give you one clue now, which I haven't spoken of yet. The other one is the oak tree. The oak tree, which is a symbol that people have been researching, but it's not yet revealed. But people have been searching out there. It's a puzzle. God won't give us everything because it's not the right time. But something started with an X, and it has a P in it. And it's a very profound thing that's going to be worth investing in. I can't say the whole thing because I don't know it, but I had a dream, and I saw an X, and I think there may have been a number, and then something else, and then P. I'm only giving you what I prophetically hear, otherwise I could be accused of representing a company. Alright, so regarding this, so if you look, there's with this, because I want to be clear and I want to make sure that we're on the right path. Okay, so this thing that starts with an X. Okay, so this thing could be a stock, it could be a mutual fund, it could be the name of a product, or it could be like the name of something that was developed. So there are many different aspects for it. So when you're looking for the answers to this one energy source, what he's telling you to invest in, whatever it is, it starts with an X. So we have the X, and then a number, and then something else, we call that a space, and then a P. So there's actually 4 spaces, X, a number, a space, and the letter P. So I just wanted to put that out there because we were discussing it, and that it could be XRP, or could it be, but this is a new energy source. So this new energy source, XRP, really isn't a energy source that we can use to put in cars or anything else, because he relates back to the oak tree. Okay, and so when I was doing some research, Kenneth's story talked about one of these energy sources, which is in the dolphin, which is in the whale, underneath the sea and everything. But there's some differences, and I'm going to show you those here as far as what we're seeing prophetically speaking. But the methane hydrate is an energy source. It's a newer energy source, and a lot of countries are trying to extract it. And so, like, Asian countries are doing doing a good thing as far as extracting that energy source. And also, too, diseased trees may be a significant source of methane that causes climate damage. So there we go again. We have it it's actually connected to the oak tree, right? A lot of oak trees, when they get diseased, they begin to give off methane. There is this new energy source that is tied to the sea and everything else. The sea, the dolphin, the whale, the octopus. And in the video that I watched, he had a diagram that showed how it all works. All right, so I'm going to go down just a short list of prophecies so that we can kind of get a grasp on this new energy source. Because what I'm going to reveal at some point down the road, this may be very well that energy source. This prophecy comes from March 3rd, 2006 in Loveland, Colorado. They do not say, "We shall smell the fumes of fuel and oil in the Middle East and from our own soil." Ha, says the Spirit of God, the big E. I told you that it is not only ethanol, but God, something very unusual that was buried decades ago with Einstein, shall come to pass and shall be recovered and discovered, and America shall be on the forefront. Science is being energized, accelerated because of the prophets that are prophesying. That this discovery has to do with Einstein. This prophecy comes from December 31st, 2005. Okay, but a surprise upon you, great surprise from the garbage, from insects shall come from beneath your feet, a new source of energy, not ethanol only, something else come out of it, says the Lord, discovered in the next 18 months. I will show my servants, the prophets, the places to invest, and some shall say, this is an Einstein craze. But it shall come from something that Einstein was discovering and bringing forth before his time. Therefore I had to remove him. This is the time where discovery shall bring a new source of energy, and it shall start in this nation. Do not say, Einstein, what about God? God said, I worked wonders, but now some of those theories shall become fact, and God said, it shall be so surprising that all the people shall say, what shall we do? America, no deficit. America, no deficit. So again, it's laying the groundwork related to Einstein. Okay, October 7th, 2006. The Spirit of God says, while I'm standing before people that have celebrated the prophetic, a people that have supported the prophetic, it shall come to pass that even in the soil of Florida, and even out of the state connected with the 3 other states, a great and marvelous discovery shall come to pass. And the Lord said, people that live here and have listened to the prophet shall invest. And God said, within months shall be earning millions of dollars because of this incredible insight that was given to them. God says, keep your eye on the tree. Keep your eye on the tree. Keep your eye on a rock. And God says, between a rock and a hard place, something shall come forth, and they shall say, but was this not something that Einstein spoke about? For God said yes, but it was out of his time. Okay, so he's telling you to keep your eye on a rock, telling you to keep your eye on a tree. This comes from June 16th, 2007. There is a mass treasure that is about to be uncovered, and my people will get it. My people will take it. The forces that have hidden and endeavored to hide what is about to be uncovered, they have been annihilated. They have been dreadfully secured. Now, even as I promised, through these next few months, one thing after another will be uncovered. Down in Florida, it began. It says on the Pacific, the West Coast, there also is a great discovery. You will not have to struggle for the breakthrough that is coming to you. So it's discoveries both in Florida and on the West Coast. You are not going under, you're going over. There is a miraculous thing that is about to be uncovered. For even in the stepping down of Tony Blair, this is a sign, a good man, a man that I used as a friend to this nation. God said there would be a sign that the great E would be rapidly in acceleration so that America would suddenly have 5 new energy sources. There shall be 5, not 1, but 5. They will say, what shall we do? We have so many sources. Shall we create and design an engine in a way that we shall design a plane in this way? What about the air? What is in the air? God said, listen, what is in the sea? What is in the land? What is in the air? What is in the dolphin? What is in the octopus? All right, so they're talking about this new energy source that is in those things, the dolphin, the whale, and the water, what is in the air. And so whatever this thing is, it has to represent each one of these things that Kim Clement is talking about. And he just goes on about the man, a righteous man who's going to take it and he's going to patent it for the kingdom of God. Because this is connected to the company that starts with an X and ends with a P. And this next one comes from December 12th, 2010. He has the answer for cancer. The medical field and the pharmaceutical world is going to open up because there are discoveries that have been held captive for many, many decades. Cancer will be known as a sickness of the past. Diabetes will be known as a sickness of the past. When the time comes, remember the oak tree. Remember the tree. Invest in it for you. You will not make millions. You will make billions of dollars. Why? Because this shall be an upright thing, shall be discovered. It is from the earth, and they will say we are walking on it. And healing came from that simple thing. That discovery is about to be made. I gave you a secret today. Look to the tree. Look to the oak tree. Look to it in your investments, because when it does come forth, God says, I will cause my people to prosper overnight, for they shall bring cures to cancers, to diabetes, to neurological problems, to Alzheimer's, and God, they will be known as the diseases of the past. Okay, so this is the part where I got confused because when I discussed the methane hydrate, okay, those things are all discovered in oak trees, discovered in the ocean and the octopus and everything. And so I was kind of confused. I'm like, okay, well, we have this new energy source, but then the one that I came across is actually in the same exact things, the octopus, the dolphin, and in the ground underneath our feet. So whatever this is the same thing that's in the ocean, is the same thing that's under our feet. And he talks about this energy just being all over the place. And then also that this new energy source that's coming from the oak tree, right? He says invest in the oak tree. Remember the oak tree. Also is going to be used for medicine. It's going to be used for cures. So it's a dual purpose. That's why people are going to be able to make a lot of money, because you're going to have this energy source that's going to be able to go into vehicles or in whatever applications they use it for, and it's going to be used for the pharmaceutical industry. So there's two things that he said about the oak tree. This thing coming from the oak tree, it's going to be used for two different areas: the energy and the pharmaceutical industry. Okay, this comes from August 8th, 2008, in California. Okay, I'm about to show you the greatest love that I have for this nation, and how I will take from the desert and bring oil, and water, says the Spirit of the Lord. There will be a combination. Out of the water shall come the oil. They shall say, why these things happen? Because I own the earth. And so that's very interesting. He says he will take from the desert and bring oil and water, and there will become a combination. Out of the water shall come the oil. So is that something that's one of the new five energies? He says, watch the watermelon, for my prophet ate the watermelon today, and there shall be a strange thing that shall take place on the earth, and they will scientifically say it cannot be correct. I'm seeing something very strange right now. God said they'll say it shall contain no water because of such and such a place and such a thing. I don't even know what I'm talking about, but geologically. God says, I will prove them wrong, and I created the earth. He says, out of your own soul you will destroy the giant of the Middle East. Your energy will come from sticks and stones. Your energy will come from the water of the earth. God spoke tonight about the watermelon. Most of you are saying, what in the world are you talking about? I'm talking about God sharing secrets. Okay, so I think here he really mentions multiple energy sources. Your energy will come from sticks and stones. Your energy will come from the water of the earth. Okay, and then he talks about a watermelon. So in this, even whatever this substance is, whatever this is, it's also going to be one of these energy sources is tied to the watermelon. And when I did the research, I have not seen anyone at all post this particular energy source that is now being discovered as a energy source. Right? I didn't see it on anywhere else. The only thing I've done is I've read news articles, and I've read some studies. And this one thing that comes from the oak tree, and it's in the dolphin, and it's in the water, and it's in the watermelon, not only is it an energy source for vehicles, but it is also used in the pharmaceutical industry right now. And it's something that these things, you got to remember, this prophecy was back in 2008. They weren't discovering these things until a few years later. I mean, they knew about them. They knew about this coming from an ecological standpoint, or of how things work in nature. They've known that it works. They've known the process and how it deals with bugs, right? Because he did talk about bugs, and I think there's two energy. I think really it's almost like a dual prophecy almost, because everything that Kenneth Story said about methane hydrate and Clement and those prophecies concerning the big E is absolutely correct. What I have found between the methane hydrate, and this other alternative energy source, they're both in dolphins, they're both in the ground, they're both used for, they're studying it they're studying both in pharmaceuticals. So it's very, very interesting, and I'm not going to put it out. I'm going to do a specific video about it as far as what I have found. But this is for the benefit of people who are going to help in researching this. I was up. There's many nights that I stay up, looking and researching and trying to go through, hundreds of Kim Clement prophecies and reading and trying to connect the dots. So I'm doing more of a comparison so that I can show it side by side with what I have found. Now, one of the main things that we are looking for, and this energy source is going to be a boom to a particular industry, and it's already kind of going up. And this material is already it's already being extracted, and it's already being processed. This new energy sources come out, there will already be companies that are, when they start using this energy source, there are already companies in position to mine it, extract it, and process it, right? So the foundations for it all has already been laid, just like the same thing with the methane that Kenneth Story is talking about. So really, just to go back over, like I said, I just wanted to make sure you guys knew about the X and the P. And then also that we're referring to, when Kim Clement is talking, I think a lot of times he was referring to multiple energy sources, even within a sentence. So that's why when we're looking at these, we have to be very careful of how we look at different companies, what to invest in. And I think that's why he was very specific when he said the X and the P. All right, so he's giving us clues. But folks, there's a lot of clues in all of his prophecies. I wish I could just print off every single one that there is, but which would make it easier for me to do the research. But I just wanted to prepare you guys and lay the groundwork for investing in the future, because all this is going to help take us out of debt. We'll take our country out of debt, and we won't need, we don't really need Middle Eastern oil now, because we have enough oil here within the United States. But this new energy source is going to change everything. Even though Kim Clement said that the United States would be, they'd be in Israel and U.S. would be an exporter of oil. And I think oil's still going to be a big part of the economy, not as big as it used to be, unless they start finding some alternative sources with oil, or be able to mix some of these new energies with oil. Or I'm sorry, with gasoline. Clement has also said that this energy source would be cheaper than gasoline. You'd be paying cheaper, and it's going to make your engine sound better. So I just wanted to put that out there, and then let you guys kind of chew on some of that stuff for a while, and you can let me know down in the comments what you think. Like I said, I will be releasing this information that I found probably within the next week or so. So it might take me up to a couple weeks, because I need to narrow things down to specific prophecies and show things side by side. And then for those of you who are on the hunt for this energy, or for these companies, for the X and the P, I'm going to hopefully I have some more information, because I did find some investments relating to that, but it wasn't exactly, because I was only using 3 spots instead of 4. X49, X4P, X9P, and then of course with my research, this looks like a pretty good investment for something down the road. But I think this is very important, because he wants to take us to through Kim Clement, wants to take us to a whole nother level in investing. So anyways, guys, tell me what you think. Put the comments down below. And with that being said, Twisted Christian out.